Hello, in this video we will discuss about the nervous coordination and sensory receptor of skin. So the basically nervous coordination mean we will discuss. First of all, we should understand about the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So here is the brain and spinal cord is the central nervous system, while the peripheral nervous system is throughout our body, which that is made up of sensory neuron and motor neuron. So the sensory neurons is used for the sensation of stimulus, while the motor neurons give the response effector. So let's begin to understand. First is introduction. These type of coordination involve specialized cell or neurons linked together directly or via the central nervous system to form network that connect the cell or organs which receive stimulus, which receive the stimuli is known as the receptor, and those which carry out action or response is known as the effector, for example the muscle, and the receptor is for example the pain. So in this way, basically, is the receptor is receive the stimulus, and the sensory neuron will move toward the central nervous system. So here is let's begin to understand the transverse section of spinal cord. This transverse section of spinal cord look like this. An inner butterfly-like structure is known as the gray matter, while the rest of this spinal cord is white matter. And here is the sensory neuron is come from the skin for sensation. It is known as the receptor, and it is sensory neurons on the skin which that is feel the sensation of something, and dorsal root of ganglion which that is travel, and in this way the dorsal root of ganglion will lead to move into the dorsal horn of gray matter. And after this, the interpretation by interneuron to move back through a motor neuron to effector. Effector is the muscle, and to move the muscle for movement of the muscle due to the pain or something. So this is the dorsal horn of ganglion, and here is the central nervous system, and here is the peripheral nervous system. And here, this is the ventral horn of gray matter, and here is the dorsal horn of gray matter. So anyhow, we will discuss about the central general picture for understanding. So first of all, here is the stimulus can be light, pain, injury, fire, pressure, and touch. So the fire can burn the skin, and in this way the pain pathway will be occur. So here is the stimulus will move by the effector is the sensory to move by a synapse through a motor effector after the interpretation in the spinal cord or central nervous system through a brain, and this is the neuromuscular junction which that is lead to give the response for muscle contraction. So the receptor is basically maybe a cell, a neuron. So let's begin to understand that first is the modalities of sensation. So the each type of sensation that we can experience, pain, touch, sight, sound, and so forth are called modalities of sensation. So let's begin to understand the receptors. So basically, maybe cell, neuron ending, or a receptor organ, or receptor it is also known as. So let's begin to understand the chemoreceptor first. So the chemoreceptor used for the detection of the chemical. For example, the glucose is the chemical which that can be sensed by the taste buds are present in the tongue. So first of all, we should need to understand the chemoreceptor. These are for smell, taste, for blood, carbon dioxide and oxygen, glucose, amino acid and fatty acid detection. In this way, the glucose will be detected through other endocrine system, but also glucose is detected through a taste gustatory pathway, and amino acid and fatty acid is also. On the other hand, the hypothalamus, which that is give the, for example, it is the chemoreceptor, hypothalamus, which that can be detected. So the mechanoreceptor, these detect stimulus of touch, pressure, hearing, and equilibrium. For example, free nerve and expanded tip endings, stray endings, which that is also the example. And stomach valve for food detection is also the part of mechanoreceptor. And we will discuss about the photoreceptor. So the electromagnetic receptor is also known as. These respond to stimuli of light. For example, in eyes, rod and cone cell are present for detection of light in the retina, in our eye. So complex eye. So the color and dark, basically the black and white and colorful image can be detected by the photoreceptor, rod and cone cell, and the low intensity and high intensity light depolarization for detection. So the thermoreceptor, these are free nerve ending, respond to cold and warmth, and it means it is present in the near of the epidermis. So here is the nociceptor, which that is undifferentiated ending, which produce the sensation of pain. It means this is the freely nerve ending are present near the epidermis. So what is the epidermis? We will understand here. So let's draw an anatomical aspect of the skin cross section. So here you can see the cross section of the skin, which that contain a upper layer is known as epidermis. Epidermis contain many layers, we will discuss also. So here is the hair shaft and inside is the hair follicle, which that is give the supply of blood, and that means the inner is the living while the outer is the non-living. It is made up of keratin protein. And here you can see the epidermis is made up of many layers. For example, the upper layer is known as the stratum corneum, which that is dead, and stratum lucidum, which that is basically is the new skin, and the stratum granulosa inside, and the furthermore is the stratum spinosum and stratum bacilli. So in this way you can see that is the basically inner side is the many type of organ. For example, here is the solo organ, and here is the blood supply, and this blood supply is through a blood vessel, capillaries, which that give the nourishment of the skin upper part, and in this way artery and vein, which that is also provide the nutrients to the hair follicle, and hair follicle is surrounded by the solo gland, sorry. So here is the adipose tissue. This adipose tissue provide the oil, sebaceous gland production. So in this way, the fatty acid is also used for the protection, insulation. And in this way, here is the masseter corpuscles. And here you can see the nerve ending is also present. And this is the nerves, is the bigger picture you can understand as well. So here is the sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland is the yellowish color, which that is basically give the hair shining. So in this way, here is you can see that sebaceous gland is also used for the antibacterial. And here is the Raffini ending. This Raffini ending is different, and it is used for the high pressure. So that is why it is deep. And here is a sweat gland which provides the sweating, and in this way the sweating is used for the thermoregulation. And here is the sweat gland, and here is the erectus muscle. Basically this is the erectus pili muscle. This erectus pili or pili muscle basically used for the goose bump and the erection of the hair for reserve the heat inside during the cold weather. So here is the root hair plexus are present, which that is used for the sensation of something. So that is the higher in the cat basically, for example. So the passenger corpuscle is a deep, while the masseter corpuscle is not deep near the epidermis. So here is you can see that is the raphine ending. Here is the passenger corpuscle, and here is the masseter corpuscle. So let's begin to understand first the sensory receptor and what is the sensation and what is the type of sensation basically. So here is you can see the first of all we will discuss about the free nerve ending. This free nerve ending is in the form of touch, pressure and slight touch, and it is known as the Merkel cell. While the raphine ending, which that is used for the high pressure, so that is why it is deeper as compared to the masseter corpuscle. Why? Because the masseter corpuscle is used for the pain sensation. So that means the upper part of the skin is required for the pain, because the upper skin should not be damaged. So that is why it is the upper part can feel. So here you can see on the other hand the masseter corpuscle. It is this used for the pain, and that is why it is near the epidermis. So the quick response for the pain. And posterior corpuscle is used for the vibration, and in this way the proprioceptor is also, but we will not understand that. So here is the posterior corpuscle is used for the vibration. So in this way I hope you make sense about the nervous coordination sensory receptor of skin. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe.